This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant, unfortunately. It's our summer series. Grant is off in the plains of North Dakota, spending his Father's Day with his beloved wife and son, probably shooting caribou or hunting wild geese or doing something exciting. No, actually, he's just working at a summer camp. So I try to make it sound more exciting than it is, but he is influencing today's youth to be tomorrow's leaders, or something of that nature. So, you know, whatever he's doing out there, we're excited for him. And we miss you, Grant, and wish you a happy Father's Day. So I always forget that Grant is a father. He's younger than me. He got married before me. He had a kid before me. I'm going to have to talk to my wife. We're going to have to catch up here. This isn't fair. Anyway, welcome everybody to the show. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there listening. We appreciate you for instilling the love of sports on us, for criticizing us at Little League games, for telling us we'll never amount to anything, so we would become something. And for those of you that actually were supportive of us, we love you all and appreciate you. So no matter what, fathers out there, thank you so much to all of you. And thank you to all of you, our loyal listeners. Remember, you can listen to us on Sports Radio America on Monday nights from 7 to 10 Eastern. You can also listen to us on TuneIn and Live 365. And you can listen to us on demand anytime you want, no matter where you are, in the car, in the shower, on a walk with your dog, however you decide to listen to us, on iTunes, on Spreaker.com, and on iHeartRadio as well. And then for all of you social media fans, you can check us out on Facebook at The Bax and Grant Sports Show on Facebook. On Twitter, you can look for us at BG Sports Show. Instagram is also BG Sports Show. Remember, if you use the hashtag The Bax Grant Sports Show, it will show up not only on Instagram, but also on SportsRadioAmerica.com on our show page. Show us your favorite teams, your sports gear, how you listen to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, anything like that. We love to interact with you, our fans. And then most recently, we just added Snapchat as well to our arsenal. You can add us on Snapchat, BG Sports Show. Look for behind-the-scenes access to the show, crazy Snapchats, all kinds of random antics. It's never really a dull moment on the Bax and Grant Sports Show. So with that being said, we opened last week's show talking about soccer, as my personal way of sticking it to Grant while he's not here, because he never lets me talk about soccer when he's on the show. So, as a tribute to Grant, since it is Father's Day and he's not here but in spirit, I thought we would talk about hockey first. And who better to talk about hockey than a Chicago Blackhawks fan? I'm excited to welcome in Miss Jess Landini to the show, as we are going to chat a little bit about her beloved Chicago Blackhawks. They have prevailed. Jess, are you not thrilled? The third Stanley Cup in 6 years. How excited are you?
Actually, it was a great cup to win, especially since we clinched our win at home.
Exactly.
Which is the first time that's happened in quite a while. So it was a really exciting time for Chicago and even some people in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and it was interesting because Milwaukee was the fourth largest market for the NHL games in terms of viewership.
I've found a home and some fans here too, so that's been great. Originally coming from Chicago and still finding a really strong fan base here is great.
It is. It really is, because Milwaukee doesn't have a professional hockey team. They do have the Milwaukee Admirals, which I think a lot of people enjoy going to their games. They're not a fantastic team, but they're interesting, I guess. Have you ever been to an Admirals game, Jess?
I actually have not been to an Admirals game. This was my first year that I actually got to go to an NHL game, and now I've kind of got the hockey bug to even go to someone's Admiral games around the area here when they are. It's just, it's a great atmosphere. If you love the sport, you're going to love to go watch it, even if your team's playing and even if they're not. So
exactly. And the Admirals they're a filter team for the Nashville Predators. Now, down in Chicago, you guys have the Blackhawks, and then you have the Chicago Wolves for your minor league team. Are they a filter for the Blackhawks? Or is that just too obvious?
I actually don't know, just because I actually never followed the Wolves pretty much. Pretty much just stuck with Blackhawks. I've never been to any Wolves games, not really followed them too much. Yeah, they're not as big of a hype, actually, down in Chicago as people think.
No, understandable. But the hype, obviously, is Chicago right now, winning their third Stanley Cup in 6 years. Talk about, as someone that's a big Blackhawks fan, Chicago took game one, then they went down 2-1, losing one of the games at home, which I'm sure surprised a lot of people. And then suddenly we see Chicago just kind of come firing back and then winning the series at home 4-2. Talk about just kind of the emotional roller coaster that was this final against the Tampa Bay Lightning?
I think that's the perfect way to describe it. I mean, they really had fans on the edge of their seats during this entire final series, and we had a lot of barriers going in. We really had to earn this last one. We mainly played with 4 defensemen. We had a huge injury with Roosevelt, kind of pushing us down to kind of strain our defensemen a lot. Actually, Johnny Oduya reported that the last 3 games he played with a pretty serious injury. That wasn't divulged kind of until afterwards. So
wow.
Yeah.
Good for him, though, to be able to play through the pain.
Yeah, and log a lot of minutes during those games, too. He really did. And, our forwards, Hayes and Kane, they're usually our star scorers, and they were limited to only 1 goal each in this series, too. So we really had to have a lot of the other teammates really step up. And I think that roller coaster came from that huge jump in momentum to kind of have other players kind of rush to the forefront offensively. I mean, we had Saad and Teravainen just really kind of taking the lead in the offensive area to kind of back us up, especially since our defensemen were running pretty low on fumes with that. And so, I mean, it really was a roller coaster, and we had some of those battle of the goalies even.
It really
moments.
was, yeah. I think a lot of people were surprised by that. Yeah, I think Corey Crawford playing in goal was fantastic. He averaged a little less than 2 goals a game on him, which is something you definitely want in hockey because those games can get out of hand if you don't have a solid man between the pipes.
It really can, and especially for him to bounce back after way back when we started all these series.
It seems like we started this playoffs like 5 months ago, I swear.
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do without it now.
Yeah. You're going to have to follow like soccer or baseball or something.
I'm going to have to find a new sport.
Yeah, well, isn't your boyfriend a soccer fan? I feel like, you should embrace his passion.
He very much is. He's trying to get me into Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, it's a very similar style. I like the fast-paced sports, and hockey really leads to that. And
I feel like you'd be more of a bigger fan of like the Milwaukee Wave indoor soccer team, where it's a lot faster paced, kind of like hockey is. With outdoor soccer, it's a lot slower, I feel like. But you're more of an indoor kind of girl, I feel like.
That's what I tell him. I said, I got to have the back and forth. I got to have people smacking people into walls.
Hey,
you
that's
grew up with hockey.
Exactly.
That's what you're used to.
Exactly. Well, looking at this playoff run for the Blackhawks, Jess, let's kind of walk through it game by game here. So, first round they take on the Nashville Predators. They win that series 4-2. They were the 3 seed going into the playoffs, beating Nashville, who was number 2. Nashville was kind of having a weird, I'd say probably last 20 games of the season, because there was a point where they lost, I think, almost 9 games in a row. Then they finally got it together towards the end of the season, got that 2nd seed in the West, right above Chicago. But then Chicago, I think once Chicago won that opening round, I think people were like, this team might actually be pretty good. And we saw that in full force when they completely swept the Minnesota Wild.
I think, going into this, I think we were really kind of, to use the cliche phrase, kind of the underdog. We weren't really perceived as a threat until, like you said, we came out of that against Nashville and then the Minnesota sweep. I think people really started to realize we were a force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
In this playoff series.
I know somebody, at least personally, I was very surprised when the Minnesota series went 4-0 to Chicago, because I'm like, oh, Minnesota, they pretty much manhandled the St. Louis Blues, who were the number 1 seed in the West. I'm like, oh, this will be no big deal at all. And then we see Chicago go 4-0 on the Wild, and I'm like, oh, well then, it's going to be that kind of playoffs here.
Yeah, it just goes to show when you get to the playoffs, it really is about who has that momentum going.
Yes.
And not necessarily almost where you were going into it, but what momentum were you able to create throughout the process in the playoffs, and that really gives you the upper hand.
Exactly. And you talk about momentum, Jess. That series against the Anaheim Ducks, to get them to the finals, they needed all the momentum they could get because Anaheim was not going away. That series finished in Game 7 on Chicago winning, obviously. But Anaheim had such an easy road to that final, though. They beat Winnipeg 4-0, and then they go play Calgary, and they beat them 4-1. So until that point when they played Chicago, Anaheim probably didn't really know how to really play against a solid team for more than 4 games in a row. And then they meet Chicago, and it's like, whoa, all right, you're a good team.
Right, and I think going in, they really had that confidence, kind of being a super physically aggressive team as well, and just really being able to dominate those other teams, and then walking in and to team up with Chicago, and then we take it all the way to Game 7, and some of those going into some pretty nail-biting overtimes as well. And so I think, they walked in pretty confident, but I think we were to show them that, it didn't really matter what happened in those other against those other teams, that they were coming to face us, and that there was something different about it too.
Yep,
so.
I completely agree. All right, well, Jess, before we let you go, who would you nominate for your playoff MVP for the Blackhawks? Or if you have more than one, I'm definitely open to hearing that. But there's got to be a player or two that really stood out for you that were like, this is definitely not only the future of Blackhawks hockey, but they really prove just how vital they are to our team right now.
Absolutely. I think Duncan Keith, he sticks out in my mind right away. Excellent defenseman, very intuitive, able to read players from the other teams very well, logged insane amounts of minutes throughout this whole entire process, and he just kept getting better and better, put some goals in the net too. I think for the amount of minutes they played him too, especially, he didn't quit. So I'd have to say him, and our rookie Teravainen, he really stepped up, and what
a great talented player he is, honestly.
He is for 20 years old. They call him the rookie. He's proven he's a force to be reckoned with as well. So, we got some strong players, and we're hoping to keep. Obviously, they're hoping to keep those core strong players in Chicago. And Taze even was saying at the rally, he's like, we're going for a fourth one. We have our dynasty, and now we want a fourth. So.
If you can, a lot of it obviously does come down to money and contracts and stuff at the end of the day. But realistically, though, right now, this Blackhawks team looks like they could be a solid contributor to a lot of success in the next, even the next 5 years. I think I would be shocked if they don't win at least one more in the next 5 years.
That's what I'm hoping for. We're on a good streak. We got a lot of momentum going.
Exactly. All right. Well, Jess, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate your insight on the Chicago Blackhawks. Enjoy the rest of your day, ma'am.
Thanks, Dax. You have a good show.
Thank you. All right. That is Jess Landini, our local Chicago Blackhawks expert. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mr. Chris Gibbons will be calling in to chat about the NBA Finals, and also Zach Poppenfuss is going to be stopping by to talk about they don't even deserve to be called by their full name, but we're going to call them the Brewers. They should be called the Suckers, but that's a whole other thing. But we're going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers when we come back, and I've got a little special surprise as well. So this is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant, unfortunately, for the summer. Being joined by a whole plethora of guests, though, throughout the summer to make this interesting. Remember, you can listen to us on Monday nights right here on Sports Radio America from 7 to 10 Eastern. Big shout-out to Sports Radio America as well, as they have officially nailed down a deal to be the online broadcasting partner for the ABA. And they will be broadcasting Game of the Week starting in November when the season kicks off. And I'm pleased to announce that I will be part of that broadcasting crew, so super excited about that. I'll be doing a lot of the local Milwaukee, Chicago, probably just Midwestern games. So as that gets closer in the future, I'm sure you'll be hearing about it. So big congratulations to you guys at Sports Radio America for all your hard work, and at the ABA. Super excited about this this whole deal as a whole. So with it being Father's Day this weekend, I know it's Monday right now, but with it being Father's Day yesterday, I wanted to give my father a call on the air and see if I can wish him a happy Father's Day. I've been an awful son and haven't called him yet, but I'm going to call him now and see. He has no idea I'm doing this.
Hello.
Hi, Father. How are you?
Well, my son, I'm doing just fine and dandy.
Oh, good. I wanted to wish you a happy Father's Day in front of a national audience. So I thought I would call you while I'm on the middle of my show.
National audience? Really?
Yes, yeah. I wanted to call and wish you happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you very much, son. I greatly appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Do I have to talk in my radio voice?
Well, I mean, you gave me my radio
Baxter.
voice, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, you could demonstrate for the good people, I guess, where I got my love for it.
Oh, very much so. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, you're
I'm
welcome.
glad.
You having a good Father's Day
which
so far?
Which show are you on?
Oh, this is the Bax and Grand Sports Show, sir.
The Bax and Grand Sports Show. I
Yes,
appreciate
indeed.
That. That's awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, they're having a great day. Went and spent some time with Tracy's parents, and then went and had a cookout at my bandmate's house. All of us are dads, so that
Oh,
was
very
kinda cool.
nice. Very, very nice. Did your other favorite son call you
Enjoyed it.
today?
My other favorite son?
Yeah.
Or the favorite son?
Oh, the favorite son.
The favorite son is calling me right
Oh,
now.
I say,
Come
because I
on
called you
now.
now, I hope I'm the favorite son.
Yes, of course. Yes, the other son did call me this morning,
Oh,
and
good.
I was serenaded with Happy Father's Day, sung to the tune of Happy Birthday.
He is the king of singing happy whatever holiday it is to the tune of Happy Birthday. I think I've been sung Happy Thanksgiving before. I've been sung probably Happy
Oh, yeah.
Memorial Day. I don't know. He's good at
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That's why we love him so much.
Oh, he sure is. He definitely is. So,
Well, awesome.
well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you calling.
You are welcome, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll be chatting again later on.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
No problem. Have a good one, Dad.
All right, you too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There we go. I'm glad that worked out as well as it did. Awesome. So, yes, my lovely father has been the main reason that sports are so prominent in my life. I'm very appreciative to him for all of the countless hours he spent in the yard throwing a football with me, instilling a love in the Green Bay Packers on me, and then all of his he didn't do broadcasting, but he did a lot of he was just that guy at events that would have the microphone. The MC, I guess, is the best way. He was a very good MC guy, so that's kind of how I picked up my PA announcing voice as well from him. So big thanks to him, Dad. Thanks to you, and I really appreciate all that you do for me. So with that being said, we're going to switch gears now and chat about the NBA Finals. In order to talk about the NBA Finals, I wanted to bring in our good friend Chris Gibbons to chat. Chris, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I don't have to wish you a happy Father's Day, do I, Chris? I don't think so. You're not a father to my knowledge.
No.
Okay. A few more
Nope.
years until we find the Mrs. Gibbons, the Mrs. Chicken McGibbons, or whatever your Twitter handle is. You have the weirdest Twitter handle, I swear. Anyway, how you doing, Chris? I was just in your great state this last weekend. I was just in Michigan.
Oh, good. How was it?
It was beautiful. It was on purpose. I didn't get lost. I was there for a wedding, so that was a lot of fun. I didn't venture as far as Detroit, thankfully. I was afraid to get my tires spiked or get sold or something just because to pay back the city's bankruptcy. But that didn't happen, thankfully, so we avoided all of that.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, indeed. So, Chris, we're going to chat about the NBA Finals. It's all in the bags now. Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are the champions, taking it 4-2. Initial reactions from you, sir, about the NBA Finals as a whole?
Well, I just, it was a really entertaining series. Even, the two games that the Cavaliers, maybe you might say, stole away from the Warriors, they weren't pretty. A lot of the finals weren't very pretty games. Obviously, Steph Curry kind of hit a slump for a little bit, but, there were some really gripping games. They were close, and it was just kind of crazy to see, teams fight back. And obviously, what a performance. I know the Cavaliers lost, but LeBron James was just incredible that entire series.
There really is no way to deny just how good he was. And I think some people were like, you should have given him the MVP. And that hasn't happened, that a losing team had a player get the MVP. And, oh gosh, I think it was the 50s or 60s the last time something like that happened. But if there's anybody to do it, I think LeBron James would have been the right guy for it, because the man was averaging, triple-doubles almost every night. I think he hit 30 points consecutively every single finals game. Just kind of a lights-out performance from him, but considering that he literally had to put the entire team and then some on his back for Cleveland, you have to commend the Cavaliers for how far they got.
Yeah. I actually am one of the people who would have probably chosen LeBron James as the finals MVP.
I would have been right there with you.
It's crazy to think, for the past 2 years, the guy, it's not the superstar from the opposite team that won the finals MVP. It was the guy who was guarding LeBron, Kawhi Leonard last year, and now Andre Iguodala. So,
which I was a little surprised, but I was happy that he won that, because it's nice to see the people that vote for the MVP realize that it doesn't have to be someone that is Steph Curry or LeBron James. People actually took the time to look down the roster and say, this guy right here, Andre Iguodala, actually played a quality, and his performance as a whole was just, I think, very, very commendable. So I'm very happy that he won it, because obviously I think Steph Curry was the second choice, but the fact that Iggy was able to get it, I think, was huge for his confidence and for the Warriors as a whole.
Yeah, I think, I probably would have been mad if Curry won it over LeBron, considering his struggles, but I really can't be mad about giving it to Iguodala instead of LeBron. I mean, I still probably personally would have gone with King James, but it's a good choice, and it's good to see that they're not just looking at Thompson and Green on the Warriors and looking at the supporting cast too.
Yes, I would have to agree with you with that. Now, talking about Klay Thompson, do you feel that as a whole he will continue to be overshadowed by Steph Curry, regardless of how long and prosperous his career might be? As long as he's on Golden State, I should say.
I think so. I think Steph Curry is really cementing himself as one of the really stars this generation. I've been big on Curry for a few years, and this was really his breakout season. And Klay Thompson, obviously, he's gotten his credit. It's not just the Steph Curry show; it's the Splash Brothers show.
Yes.
But I think Curry's just that much better of a talent, and obviously you're going to have nights where Thompson's going to outperform him. He's going to be dropping dimes like crazy. He's going to be lights out from three, but I do think that Curry or Thompson might, I'm not going to compare directly Curry to Jordan, but
it's hard to make a
Thompson.
It's hard to make an exact one. Yes.
Then he's more of a Pippen than a Jordan, and Curry's more of a Jordan.
Yes, I would have to agree with that. Now, a big debate that people have been wondering about is just how good this Golden State team is as a whole, because they were the third most winningest team in a single season, only behind Jordan's Bulls. The years they won back-to-back championships, I believe was it 96, 97, or was it, I forget it. It's those late 90 series that they won back-to-back. And a lot of people, a lot of experts in terms of the NBA have been back and forth and saying, well, I mean, obviously, yes, this is a very good Golden State team, but they're no Michael Jordan and the Bulls back in that day. Are you on that same train, or do you feel like this Golden State team deserves way more credit than people are giving them?
I don't think we can answer that at this time, really.
Okay.
We can really put the Jordan Bulls above everyone else because they had the rings and they had the 6 championships, no losses.
Mm-hmm.
If Golden State gets either everybody back or most of the people back and championship run next year or next few years, we'll maybe be able to talk about that. I mean, I think head and shoulders, this Golden State team is one of the best we've had in probably the last decade. I mean, their starting five was great, and they had the supporting cast. They had the bench players that so many teams is their Achilles heel, like the Cavaliers. So they're definitely great. I think it's going to take a few years before we can measure how truly great they are.
Yes, and I think that really does stand apart as them as a whole. I think as you looking back to that Chicago team, their championships, I mean, look at this, 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. Pretty much they owned the entire 90s. Now, if we see Golden State go on a similar run over these next 10 years and they grab, 4 or 5 more championships, then I think people can say, okay, this Golden State team, they're really, really good. But also the arguments against Golden State right now is that Oklahoma City did not have Kevin Durant when they had to square off, and Oklahoma City missed the playoffs. So if Kevin Durant had been healthy and Russell Westbrook would have been healthy at the same time, obviously Russell Westbrook was battling injuries throughout the year, do you think that Golden State would have even made it as far as they would have if they would have had to have faced a healthy OKC team?
I don't know if I can. I think after the Pistons, my favorite two teams in the NBA are the Thunder and the Warriors. I've really liked both of the teams in the past few years.
Sounds a little bandwagony to me, Chris. Just gonna throw that out there.
I jumped on the Warriors a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Before
pre-Steph Curry or post-Steph Curry?
Post Steph Curry.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was just wondering.
Before MVP numbers.
Oh, okay.
But,
before he was just this random guy they drafted out of Davidson, you're saying?
I'm a bandwagoner, but I am an early adopter of the bandwagons.
Gotcha. Well, someone's got to ride the wagons. I mean, saddle them up, especially. Yeah. I think 49er fans are known for that. Same with Cowboy fans.
Yeah. But I think Thunder, if they made the playoffs even, would have been a difficult team even without KD. I mean, just how many times Russell Westbrook put the entire team on his back.
Yeah.
I think
he reminds me of LeBron, though, in that regards, where Russell Westbrook was trying to do what LeBron did during the playoffs, because towards that end of the season, Durant was gone. Russell Westbrook was like, all right, literally everybody get on my back. I'm going to carry the state of Oklahoma trying to get to the playoffs, but then it didn't work out. But then we saw LeBron do that when it came to the playoffs and said, all right, Cleveland, get on my back. We're going to do this. Didn't work out. But they can be very much compared to in that regard. So, Chris, before we let you go, give me a outrageous early prediction for the NBA Finals next year. Completely outrageous. It can be
outrageous.
Well, I mean, outrageous in the sense of saying, "Oh, Golden State for sure," or Cleveland's going to win it again, or you could say, "Hey, go Pistons." Give me something. What do you got for me?
I might actually just go Pistons.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. How are they looking next year? They looking good?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
They just traded for Tyron Ilyasova, which is going to really, really help if he can stay healthy at the 4th spot.
Yeah.
Greg Monroe was a great player with Detroit. I think it's time for him to move on, take an outrageous contract with the Knicks.
Outrageous. That sounds about right. When it comes to the Knicks, there's no he got a 2-year, $20 million. No, he got 6 years, $5 million, and a new car.
Yeah, but he didn't really mesh with Andre Drummond in the front court just because he's really a center and make our not for like Ilyasova will be huge for the Pistons. They just need to get a solid. They need to basically win the lottery. Hopefully, get a starting quality and then sign a good 3-point shooting backup forward during free agency.
All right.
And then I think they're a contender, especially in a weak East.
Yes. Yep, I would have to agree with that. All right, well, Chris, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. People can find you on Twitter where, sir, for all your expert analysis?
You can always find me at Twitter at Chicken McGibble.
Chicken McGibble. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, sir, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your Father's Day, and wish your father well for me.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot.
Love being on.
No problem, Chris. Have a good one. All right. Well, the NBA looking interesting next year. We will see Chris going with an early pick, though, for the Detroit Pistons. I'm not buying it. I don't know. Zach,
Nope.
Are you buying that?
I'm from Michigan, so I'd love to buy. No, I just
don't even lie.
No. I'm not going to say the Bucks either, though.
No, I wouldn't.
Although I would love to.
I think the Bucks had a better chance than the Pistons.
I would.
but-
I don't know about that.
I mean, Milwaukee needs something positive, especially with how awful the Milwaukee Brewers are playing right now.
I think the only reason the Bucks were as good as they were this year is because no one knew how Jason Kidd was going to coach.
Yeah,
and that kind of leads into the Brewers.
Exactly.
Fresh coaching change. We win a game.
Cred,
cool.
Cred Council. Everyone's like, best coach. Give him the coach of the year. He won a game.
You know, no, not to give them free press, but the Onion had an article about how if you were able to retroactively test everyone in baseball for drugs, Craig Counsell is the only non-drug using baseball player.
Really? It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Wow.
That means he wins all the awards and everything.
Exactly. He's got to be. He's got to. Oh, my gosh. Well, yes, if for those of you who haven't picked it up yet, Zach Poppenfuss is in the studio with me now. We're going to chat a little bit about the Milwaukee Brewers, who are dead last in the National League Central. They are not dead last in the National League, though. Thank God that Philly is just a little bit more horrible than the Brewers. Not by much, only a game, thankfully. But Philly's on a 1-game win streak. Milwaukee's on a 2-game lose streak. So really anything's possible. They lost 10-4 to the Rapids. Wow, going soccer to the Rockies, Colorado Rockies, not the Rapids. They probably would have still lost anyway. But Brewers right now, Zach, sitting at 25-46. 11-24 at home this year, 14-22 on the road. Maybe they just shouldn't play at Miller Park this year. Like, they seem to be doing better on the road. They're just going to be that one traveling team, you know?
Just gonna show up and beat everyone.
They're 21 games out of first place in the Central.
Even if they go on the road backs, you have to win. You have to win more than half your games to even think about making the playoffs.
Well, they've already played over 60 games this year, which is surprising to me because it's like, holy cow, it's almost end of June and they've already almost half the season's gone because All-Star break is just around the corner. I think it's beginning of July, something like that. But anyway, you had a few things you wanted to talk about for the Brewers. What do you got for me?
Well, the only October baseball they're going to be playing is on a console. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, well, they've been playing that for the last few years.
Right?
Not Craig Counsell, though.
Wow.
We
didn't plan that. We
really didn't.
I was actually gonna maybe pull that in at the end, but he totally picked up what I was laying down. Okay, so 3 big things I have with the Brewers. One,
yes,
you suck. So
True.
Quit playing like you're maintaining a lead.
Sorry, I'm doing the Admirals chant. You suck. Anyway,
so that's for you, Grant.
Yeah. Somewhere in North Dakota, he just fired a shotgun into the air in celebration.
So anyway, why
am I making him out to be such a hick and a hillbilly?
He's really
in
not
the plains. He's like bow hunting with Indian war paint. Like, I don't know. That's just what I picture in North Dakota. What else is there to do?
Before you anger any races, Baxter, let's continue talking about the Brewers.
True.
They're only another multinational club, so we don't control that.
Woo!
What I do want to say about the Brewers is that the coaching change happened. They won a game, maybe 2, and
that's about it, really.
Then went back to status quo. And if you're losing, and this is going to be a pedestal that I'm going to get up on here for a second.
Do you need help or you
no, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I used to help coach my little brother's little league team, which automatically makes me qualified to talk about Major League Baseball.
What half the ESPN guys do. I coach my son's, 3rd grade baseball team. Put me on. Oh, ESPN senior expert. Sorry, I'm done. I'm off my box.
Anyway. So anyway, it's just frustrating because when we would be in a tournament and you're losing, you play more aggressive.
Yes.
You have to.
You have to.
And you have to make the other team make mistakes, because if they're playing confidently and they have the momentum, they're going to take it with them. Teams are walking into Miller Park, enjoying the venue, and they have the momentum when they get there, because they know
it's a beautiful venue.
They know the Brewers are going to play poorly, because the Brewers have shown that that's what they're going to continue to do. So I would really like to see the Brewers playing more aggressively, and the instance of this.
At this point, why not? You're dead last in your division. Realistically, are you going to really make up 21 games? Well, if the Cardinals get disbanded like their investigation now, but even then.
You know who told them about the Cardinals? I'm sure it's someone from the Brewers.
Probably.
Hey, so we have a chance maybe this year. We should just tell them about that thing we knew about.
Whoops.
But anyway, the one that really gets me.
Please. What grinds your gears at night?
I believe it was Gerardo Parra.
Yes. Who's leading the Brewers in batting.
In batting.
Yeah.
On third base. Balls hit way up in the air. They're losing at this point. They're losing. I think it was the 3-2 game. Balls hit way up in the air behind first base. First baseman, not ever known for having good arms. I mean, if you play first base, it's because you probably don't have a good arm.
Because you're short.
Yeah.
Or you can do the splits.
Or you can do the splits. That's the other reason.
Oh, yeah.
Still gets me when you watch some of those big guys.
Yeah,
though. And
like,
they're reaching all the way out there.
It.
Anyway, so first baseman wanders back behind first base, makes a catch, and Gerardo Parra takes off from third. Before the ball is thrown in, either to the catcher or back to third base, he stops and completely turns around. The worst base running I have ever seen, because the ensuing throw went about 45 feet up into the air and floated there for a good 4 seconds before it landed 4 feet in front of the catcher and just piddled around in the grass. I could have run that, Bax.
Yeah. It's 90 feet. It's not that far.
I was dying, because Parra's not slow.
No.
He's not one of the injured guys. He's not one of the guys we say, look, we don't want you running at full speed because you could hurt yourself, which will forever frustrate me that a professional team told Ramirez, you shouldn't run out every hit because you might hurt yourself. I understand he's an excellent defensive force, and he's good at contact hitting.
Sure.
Can crank him out of the park, too. He's an all-around, he's your 5-tool player. One of the tools he doesn't have is speed. But more than once, I've seen plays where if he pushes it and makes it close, they can't turn 2 on him. But because they tell him not to book him out, teams know that. And it's another coaching point where if you're going to tell him that he doesn't have to do that, don't make it public knowledge. That's something you keep under wraps. That's something that you don't find, the same reason that the NHL, the Blackhawks didn't have his injury publicized. They didn't want people to know that, hey, look, this guy's playing injured.
Yeah.
Because then you go to his side more often, things like that.
Oh, that's good. If he's strong enough to be able to conceal that makes life so much easier.
Yeah. So the other two things that I think I do want to commend the Brewers. They brought up some of their
young pitchers,
and
they've done well,
and they've done excellent. The pitchers they haven't had any batting support behind it.
No,
they haven't been able to play the game they want to play. So there comes a point when you need to stop and look back at your game and say, if I'm not able to do what I want to do, maybe I should play to the game that we're designed to do.
Yes.
And they're a veteran team. They're an intelligent team. I think they could do a much better job of playing contact hitting. Right now, when you look at their batting lineup, it's a mixed contact and power. And it'd be great if we were getting the guys on base, but we're just not. So something's got to change. It's
definitely got to change. I mean, look at this really fast. The top 3 ERAs for the Brewers. Mike Fiers, 4.5. Is it Jimmy Nelson? Right? Yeah. 4.6. Oh. And then Greg Garza, 5.8.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 best. 3 best on the team.
And Matt Garza with 7 earned tonight.
So proud. Oh my gosh. Why is Kyle Loesch even in the major leagues anymore? That's a whole nother topic. All right, Zach.
Money.
Exactly. Thanks so much for stopping by, Zach. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir. And we'll be chatting with you, I'm sure, next time.
Not a problem.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, Megan Landvatter is going to be chatting with us to talk about NFL fantasy football. It's not too far away. Who's going to be your number one pick this year? We will find out. And the Women's World Cup, some shockers already in the knockout round. We're going to chat about that as well and so much more. Don't go anywhere. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. Grant is off for the summer working in North Dakota at a summer camp, riding horses, wearing Indian war paint, shooting small game with a bow and arrow, and chopping wood and doing things manly because that's what Grant does. I don't know. I want to see a video montage of everything that I've tried to tell Grant to do over the summer. He's picking things up and putting them down. I don't know. We miss you, Grant. Come back soon. Don't have too much fun in North Dakota. Anyway, we are excited because we'd like to welcome in Megan Landvatter of Fansided.com and SidelinesApp.com. We're going to chat a little bit about the NFL. Fantasy football, Megan, not too far away. People have already started making their 4,700 mock drafts. I have yet to make mine. I usually make mine about a day before the draft, and even then I really just kind of make it up as I go along. Have you already started to get fantasy football ready, Megan, or are you still waiting a little bit?
Oh, goodness, no. I'm the person who I show up to my draft, and I'm like, all right, let's just wing it.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
Yeah, well, coincidentally enough, I mean, I've done a league 4 years, and I've won 3 out of 4, so I must be doing something semi-right.
Wow.
And, yeah. But, yeah, I'm not one of those people who plans out or anything, just because I don't think, can anyone really predict, how people are going to play? No.
No. ESPN sure likes to think they can, but that doesn't usually work out that way.
There are people who are paid a lot of money to tell you how good they're going to be. But.
And there are people that are paid not a lot of money that are usually way smarter. But anyway.
That's true.
That's totally irrelevant. True. It's totally irrelevant. No, shameless plug for you and me. Anyway, so last year, Aaron Rodgers was the number 1 scoring player in fantasy football. Why in the world is everybody so gung-ho to draft a running back first? Why? Why not take a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, I've never understood that because I always draft my quarterback first.
You have to. You absolutely have
to. I've never drafted my running back first. Like I said, I've won 3 out of 4 years doing that, having that strategy. I had Aaron Rodgers last year.
Of course you did.
And it worked out pretty well for me.
I sure hope so.
Tom Brady, I had Aaron Rodgers, I had Drew Brees 1 year, so it works out pretty well.
Yeah, so you seem to have quite the in there in terms of quarterbacks. Holy cow.
Well, that's because everyone in my league drafts running back. So
smart. So I need to draft a quarterback first this year.
I had Peyton Manning on that 2 years ago when he was fantastic.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wow, you're just, not even fair. I don't want to be in a fantasy football league with you this year because I feel like you'll just smoke me.
I don't know. Like I said, I wing it. I don't know. I don't have a secret or anything. But
okay. All right. Well, I'm curious to get your opinion because NFL.com, of course, already has their rankings out for their top 5 players in every position.
Sure.
Number 1 for the quarterbacks is Aaron Rodgers. Not really concerned about that. Number 1 for running backs is Adrian Peterson.
All right.
Yes. No. I'm a little hesitant about that.
No, I'm hesitant on the Adrian Peterson thing because he hasn't really played. I mean, it's just you never know. I mean, I know he wasn't a person who was injured or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I know we don't have to worry about that. And obviously Peterson's made great comebacks. He was injured and was unbelievable. So being away from the game doesn't maybe affect him a lot. But at the same time, it's kind of are you really? I don't know. number one? I don't know.
Well, number 2 is Le'Veon Bell, who's suspended for the first 4 games of the year. And number 3 is Eddie Lacy. Number 4 is Jamal Charles. And number 5 is Arian Foster. So at this point, who really gives a crap who's going to be number 1? Because I think...
Why would you put someone... Okay.
Yes,
right?
right?
I don't know. The NFL, I don't know. That seems a little bit...
Yes.
I don't know about that one.
See, I think... I don't know if you remember this or not, but... during our spring shows when we were doing it, I had a bit of a rant with Grant because Eddie Lacy was ranked number 1 overall for probably about a week or two, which I think is total ridiculousness, honestly.
Yeah,
you don't put
running back.
You don't put the running back of the
material.
Yeah, you don't put a running back on the most pass happy team in the NFL at number 1.
Yes. See, that's the other thing. Okay, so people always draft everyone and they're like, oh, it's going to be so great. But I would like to remind you that when you are drafting, okay, my one piece of advice to you,
please,
when you are drafting,
yes,
pay attention to the team you're drafting from. If you're drafting, if you're going to say Eddie Lacy's the best running back, who does he play for?
Yeah, who's his quarterback? That should be your first game.
The offense passes the ball.
9 times out of 10, they will throw that ball. I don't care if it's 4th and 1. They're going to more than likely play action and throw it to Kuhn.
Exactly. Draft a running back from a team that doesn't have a quarterback.
Exactly. That's why DeMarco Murray was so good for the Cowboys last year.
Exactly. Okay.
Anyway, I felt good. That felt good. I was glad to say that. Anyway.
That felt good. Let it all out.
Yeah, right? Why wasn't Reggie Bush better last year? Oh, that's right, because Stafford was actually kind of good last year. Anyway.
I've been reading about Stafford, and apparently Stafford is just not a good pick. I've read all this stuff.
I don't want to draft him. So. What about Colin Kaepernick? Yeah. What about Colin Kaepernick? He had a great year 2 years ago. He had a bad year last year.
He's still relevant?
Is he? That's the question. Is he relevant still?
No.
Is he worth your time?
He's trash. He's garbage.
Trash. He's garbage. Kick him to the side. Light him on fire like an old Cleveland LeBron jersey.
I may have some strong personal feelings about Colin Kaepernick that may or may not have to do with the fact that my team cannot beat him.
That's all between you and Colin, I guess. I'll let you guys work that out.
In my professional opinion, no, I think that he is. I think he's over. I think it's done. I mean, I don't see him.
He had his 1 year of fame.
Quarterback. Yeah, he's like that. One hit wonder, and you're like, oh. I mean, do you remember Ron Jaworski? I don't know. Okay, Ron just gets crazy about everyone.
What a guy.
Yeah, right? No, he was super excited about Colin, and he was like, oh, my gosh, he's going to be the best quarterback.
Is he, though? No. I don't know about that. Sorry, you still there? I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah, I'm still there.
My bad, sorry.
I know, I thought the same thing. That's okay.
First day on the job, my bad. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, but yeah, sorry, Ron Jaworski was saying what about Colin Kaepernick?
Just that he's going to be the greatest. It was like, when Colin Kaepernick was still kind of where you were maybe wondering if he was going to be good or not, and Jaws totally bought into the whole thing.
No,
and he was saying how great he was going to be. I know.
No,
it's not happening.
Useless, literally garbage. Oh my goodness. All right, so looking at the other top players, Antonio Brown is considered to be the best wide receiver. Des Bryant's 2, Calvin Johnson's 3, Demaryius Thomas is 4, and then really Odell Beckham is 5. I'm a little over the whole overhyping of Odell Beckham. Are you?
I'm over, except for, Calvin Johnson, solid pick.
Yes.
Always will be a solid pick.
No matter what.
Calvin Johnson.
Until he is
he
retirement, he will still
time.
be good. Yeah, of course. Someone's got to be good against the Packers. Come on.
I mean, he, good receiver. Des Bryant, kind of over him. Tony Brown, maybe.
Hashtag
again,
Des would have caught that.
I know I'm a Packer fan, so this is going to sound biased. Probably is.
Jordy. Where's Jordy?
Nelson should be in there. Because,
yeah.
Right,
no, I agree.
People,
I
I've
agree.
had him all 4 years. He's done well for me all 4 years, so...
Yeah, no, I don't understand why Jordy Nelson is not in the top 5, because Odell Beckham Jr. does not deserve to be in the top 5. Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, okay, look at Jordy Nelson.
Yes,
He is now Aaron Rodgers' top target,
yes.
Because you had Greg Jennings leave and you had James Jones leave and everything like that. So he is number 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
His quarterback is Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And he plays for the Green Bay Packers. Again, a pass-happy team. You know he's going to get the ball.
Last I checked, that was a good thing to do, is be on a pass-happy team where your quarterback is actually good at passing the ball.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. It makes sense to me, Megan. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I guess it's the rest of the league.
Right, I'm just trying to throw those thoughts into your head that maybe that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my gosh. Anyway, looking at tight ends, not really surprised. Rob Gronkowski's number 1. Kickers, sure. Stephen Gostkowski's number 1. I'm a little shocked that number 2 is Adam Vinatieri. But he's the Indianapolis kicker, and Indianapolis, as we know, is always relatively good. Andrew Luck's considered the number 2 quarterback. Russell Wilson's number 3. Peyton Manning's 4. Drew Brees is 5.
Russell Wilson's what?
Russell Wilson is 3.
3 for quarterback?
3 for quarterback.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
According to NFL.com.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Did they see?
Wait till I get to the defense. You're going to want to throw a small child when I get to the defense.
Okay, but
yes.
Oh gosh, okay.
Yes.
I don't know. For the record, I do not agree with Russell Wilson being in the top 5.
No, I don't think you should. Andrew Luck, sure, that makes sense. Peyton Manning, why not? Drew Brees, why not? Sure, but I mean,
Russell
Tom Brady. Should Tom Brady be in there?
Russell Wilson wins. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson wins because he has a great defense. I mean, Russell Wilson's a decent quarterback.
Yes.
Top 5 material, no.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Tom Brady,
I agree with what you're saying. I don't know. I wish I had more words that could actually explain that, and I wish we had more time to talk about that.
Do you realize if we worked for the NFL, we'd be fired in like?
Oh yeah, we'd have been yanked off the air hours ago.
Yeah, we would never last.
No, we wouldn't because we actually think logically. Anyway, looking at the I will one real quick big shout out. The only Green Bay Packer aside from Aaron Rodgers and Eddie Lacy that's in the top 5 of anything is Mason Crosby because he is he's awesome. He's number 3 on the kickers list. So
go Mason.
Go Mason.
Happy he bounced back from that one.
That's my boy.
That one rough year.
I love Mason.
He's top 5 now. Good for him.
He did. Good for him. All right. So looking lastly at the defenses. Number 1 is Seattle. Yeah, whatever. Number 2 is Buffalo, which not terrible. Rex Ryan, a defensive-minded coach. Okay, sure. Number 3 is the Texans. So number 3 is J.J. Watt because they have literally nobody else on the defense. Number 4 are the Rams, which they just got an upgrade on their D-line. They've got like 6 defensive linemen. They might as well run a 6-1 for gosh sakes because they should just frickin' rush everybody and call it a day. I don't know how I would be jealous to have St. Louis's. I would love to have their D-line. I really would.
Yeah.
And then number 5 are the Cardinals, which I think their secondary makes them better than. The Cardinals and the Seahawks are very much secondary-heavy teams. Their pass rush is decent, but not great. Yeah.
You know, that's interesting, actually, because as you're listing off these teams, their defense, maybe. But, I mean, it's just interesting. I guess the thing that sticks out to me is that most of those teams, I guess if they are going to win, they're going to have to do it on defense. Because you think through all those teams in offensive-wise?
No. Not at all.
I mean, obviously, this isn't in the obviously how an offense plays doesn't affect your points for defense, so it doesn't really matter. But it is interesting to me that all the teams on here are have no offense.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say Seattle's got the best offense out of those 5, with Arizona being number 2 and everybody's healthy.
2.
Rams probably 3, Bills 3. Well, Rams and Bills are going to intertwine at 3. Texans are obviously the worst out of these offenses.
Right.
If there was a Rams-Texans game, I would take the Rams over them, personally. But that's just me.
Yeah, no. Okay, this is probably a really dumb question, but who do the Rams have at quarterback this year now?
Either Nick Foles or Austin Davis.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot. It feels like I know Sam Bradford, but yeah, okay. Got it.
Yeah, nope, that's the plan, at least.
I had to realign my brain with NFL. When you're going to talk NFL. Well, I want to talk NFL, but yeah, it's interesting getting back into NFL. It's been a while.
Oh no, I completely agree. Completely agree with you on that one. So, but we got to let you go, unfortunately, Megan. Any last fantasy advice before we let you go?
Yes, I would like to tell everyone out there to not listen to anybody and to completely wing it. So
perfect. So they should draft a kicker in the first round, is what you're saying.
Draft a kicker. Do whatever your heart desires.
Hey, sometimes kickers are the leading scorers on teams. Don't underestimate the value of a great kicker.
You know what? Follow your dreams.
I will. I will. I will draft Mason Crosby number 1 and Tim Tebow number 2. Anyway.
That's solid.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, Megan is a writer for Dairyland Express over at fansided.com and for sidelinessapp.com. You can find her on Twitter where?
At LawnVotter812.
LawnVotter812. Thank you so much, Megan, for stopping by. Enjoy your Father's Day. Wish your father all the best from us here at the Bax and Grand Sports Show, and we look forward to talking with you in the future.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Always a good time. I love talking to Megan because she's the one person that can actually shut Grant up. Because Grant likes to talk a lot, for those of you that know, but Megan is that one person that I will bring in the studio as much as physically possible because she just lights the fire under Grant and usually disagrees with him on everything, which is awesome. Because I can disagree with Grant as well, but because she is a professional female, he has to actually respect her opinion. He doesn't give a crap about my opinion, but Megan, he's like, okay, all right, I respect that. So it's fun. I love having Megan come on the show. Huge fan of her and all of her writing as well. Go check that out. DairylandExpress.com, a general Wisconsin sports website in the Fansided Network, and then SidelinesApp.com as well. Real quickly, FIFA Women's World Cup knockout round has already started. I'm going to talk about it just really fast because we're already running short on time today. China knocking out Cameroon 1-0 in the opening round of the knockouts. Germany goes 4-1 on Sweden. No real surprise there. France 3-0 over South Korea. Not really surprised there. So Germany and France will play each other in the second round. And then the biggest shocker that I literally fell out of my chair today is Australia beating Brazil. Absolutely shocking with how well Brazil plays usually as a whole. And now little Australia, the little country that could. We'll see. They will take on either the winner of Japan or Netherlands next year. Next round, not next year. It'll be this year, I promise. That'll be on June 27th. So we'll see who they end up playing. And then Canada taking out Switzerland 1-0 as well. They play the winner of Norway and England. So if the U.S. beats Colombia tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., they will face China. So that will be quite the interesting game in that respect. So we'll see what happens. Women's World Cup, always a lot of fun to watch. Some high-quality soccer. Don't forget to tune in. Games are usually on Fox Sports 1 or Fox, your local Fox affiliate. So check that out. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Connor Christensen's going to be in studio for a lightning-fast version of his fitness tip and his fight corner. And then Mr. Chris Blakely of Vavel.com will chat about the U.S. Open that is in the process of going on, but an ever-changing scoreline. We will see what happens and who will be the new champion of the U.S. Open. This is the Bax and Grand Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant for our summer series. Remember, you can check us out on the summer on sportsradioamerica.com. Tune in, Live 365. On Monday nights, from 7 to 10 Eastern on Sports Radio America. You can also listen to us on demand on iTunes, Spreaker.com, and iHeartRadio as well. Social media, you know us. You know where to find us. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. All of those are at BG Sports Show, and then Facebook is the Bax and Grant Sports Show. It is time for one of our favorite guests to come on the show. Mr. Connor Christensen is here in the studio to offer us his fitness tip and his fight corner as well, sir. So it's going to be a little bit more of a rushed show, unfortunately, but we are excited to have you here. So how you doing today, Connor?
I am doing very well. How are you doing?
Oh, just dandy. I'm loving it. Did you call your father to wish him happy Father's
I did.
Day?
I talked to my dad for about a half hour earlier.
How
in the
is
day.
Mr. Connor, father, sir?
He is doing great.
Doing great?
Better since he got to talk to his son.
His favorite son.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes, youngest of 3, but you're the favorite. It's usually how it goes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did he instill any sports wonderfulness on you as a kid?
He did. He did instill sports wonderfulness onto me. He made me the Vikings fan I am today.
Oof. Yes. So he failed you. I'm kidding.
Yeah, say what you want.
No.
I have loyalty to my team. That is what he instilled in me.
That is loyalty. You're like a good dog. You're
and
a good golden retriever. He's loyal.
Yes. No, that, and he instilled in me the pursuit of talent. I love watching anyone who's talented play.
Okay.
So I'm a Vikings fan, but I love to watch anyone who's good.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Respect all talent.
Well done. All right. Well, Connor, your fitness tip for us today, sir, is what?
My fitness tip today is to not eat out as much, to stay in with your family. They say it's good for your mental health. Well, it's also good for your body because when you eat in, generally, you make more intelligent food choices. You go to the supermarket and you get your produce and you come back and you cook something, which is different than how a lot of people do it. But I do have one other piece of advice. If you have to go out, if you want to go out, whatever, you go to a nice restaurant, you sit down, something you can do to help you not eat too much at dinner is to, when you order your food, order half of it to go. So they put half of it on. You're only getting half of the portion. That's the big thing is, these portions are way too big. Well, if you only order... if you order half of it to go, you can have it tomorrow or whatever.
Sure.
So
bring it to lunch for you at work, whatever you got to do. It's
exactly.
ironic because you and Zach brought my wife and I Panda Express.
That's not relevant. That's not relevant.
It's not relevant at all?
That's not relevant.
Not relevant at all. The fact I can see the Panda Express right there.
Out of the goodness of our heart, we bring you a treat, and now you're throwing it back on
well,
me.
I'm just saying, you chose that.
The love.
You chose that as your fitness tip, though. So you had the free will.
It's good advice.
Oh, yeah.
It's great advice.
It's good advice. It's just a little funny.
Moderation. That's my last
Moderation.
Moderation. For sure. Moderation.
Gotcha.
So you can go out when you want to
every
once in a while, but moderation. Definitely.
Fair enough. All right. No problem. But you don't obviously want to have moderation when you watch UFC.
Oh, no.
You want to get as much of that all up on you as you can.
Yes.
Like a Ronda Rousey death grip to the neck.
It's interesting you say Ronda Rousey.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I was hoping you'd have something about Ronda.
Yes.
How's Ronnie up to?
Oh, she is amazing. She is 5-0 since she took the title.
Because she's a boss.
Because she's a boss. She's the best female fighter. She's better than probably half of the guys out there, too.
Probably.
She's an animal. And she's so destructive just right away.
Yes.
It starts, 16 seconds later, it's done. 10 seconds later, it's done.
Why do people even pay to go to these fights?
Right? I do not understand why anyone would want to fight her.
Ronda Rousey, $300 a ticket. How was the fight? Well, we left at 9. We were home by 9:03. So, yeah, it was fun.
That's why they usually have about 8 to 12 fights in an event.
You sold our firstborn to buy a ticket, and you're back in 5 minutes. Well, it was a good fight.
It would have been a great fight if you're watching Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She just actually came out and tweeted about Johanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm going to butcher that if I try to say it again. We'll call it, she's JJ from now on.
The jet plane?
No. JJ is the strawweight title holder at the moment, as where Ronda Rousey is the bantamweight title holder. So they will never have to fight each other unless for some reason they decide to switch weight classes, which...
Why not?
Doesn't make a whole ton of sense,
YOLO.
but why not? I guess.
If the check's right.
Yeah. And JJ just destroyed Jessica Penne on Saturday at UFC Fight Night 69.
Mm-hmm.
She destroyed her TKO in the third round, which, for those of you who don't know what a TKO is, it means total knockout. What that means is if someone is just they got hit, they go down, but they're not necessarily knocked out.
Yes.
So you see the fighter, get on top and just start, beating them while they're down.
Leveling them.
That is called a TKO. When the referee has to go in there and separate the two of them because he's afraid someone will die.
Enough.
Yes, that is what JJ does. That is the main difference between her and Ronda Rousey, because Ronda Rousey is just lethal right away, as where JJ will drag it out for 3 rounds.
Of course.
She contributes that to her training staff. She said that the only reason that it took her that long was because she was following the advice of her trainers that were telling her to take it slow. She was throwing 1 punch when she wanted to throw 8. So that's the mindset of JJ. She is a monster, and
so then they should fight. I feel like that'd be good. That'd be good TV. Good fighting.
It would, in the sense of, for people who don't really watch UFC, they don't understand how much the weight actually does. That's why they created weight classes. So it's like if I was gonna fight Zach. I mean, obviously I would win, but Zach has got what is it, 60 pounds? No, I'm just kidding. He's not that
Zach? Zach is 6'3".
Yeah, I made a joke that he's 230 pounds, but that's not true, because I'd be a lightweight with 155, and you would be a light heavyweight probably. So yeah, the weight really does matter. Okay. So if JJ and Ronda Rousey fought, it would be, JJ would have a lot of fight in her. Ronda would take it.
Yes,
because she's bigger.
No, makes sense.
Yeah, no. But, so check her out, Johanna Jędrzejczyk. Jędrzejczyk.
I want to set that as my new password for my, is that the Q, the 5 Qs, the 3 Ws, they're all silent.
I had to look up how to say it because it's crazy.
I would have to as well.
Yes, check them both out. They're going to be forces to be reckoned with for the rest of their fighting days.
Kind of like the Vikings.
Oh, of course. Adrian Peterson.
Teddy.
Teddy.
Love it. All right, Connor Christensen, thank you so much for stopping by, sir. Where can the good people find you on Twitter?
Well, my Twitter account doesn't work anymore, so I'm going to have to make a new one.
How does it not work? What'd you do?
I don't know. It's I can't log in. I put my information in, and it's no, that's not you. I'm that's me. I don't know what you want from me.
Recover your password.
I did. Oh. It's not working. So I'm going to have to make a new one, but I'll let you know when I make a new one.
We appreciate it. If not, just stalk him on Facebook. No, don't do that. All right, Connor, thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best to your father as well on Father's Day.
And to yours.
Oh, cheers. Thank you, sir. All right. One more break. When we come back, Mr. Chris Blakely of Vavel.com will be here to chat about the exciting finish for the U.S. Open. It is down to the wire right now. Still in progress, but a lot of fun stuff to talk about. So this is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax. No Grant. He is off for the summer in North Dakota teaching at a summer camp. We miss him dearly and hold him in spirit around the studio as best we can. No Grant's rant. I just don't feel like it's right to do Grant's rant if he's not here to rant. So I keep trying him each week, trying to see if he can call in or do something and we can pre-record it, but The man literally got a tin can for a cell phone on top of a pine tree in the middle of the woods trying to make phone calls. So I got a carrier pigeon from him yesterday texting me, hey. So I sent back a Pony Express last night, so I'm hoping that it'll get to him sometime before Christmas. Anyway, an exciting finish right now as the U.S. Open is going on at Chambers Bay. Yeah. So who better to bring in than Vavel USA co-editor Chris Blakely. He has been covering the tournament all weekend long. Chris, what is going on right now? Jordan Spieth has just regained the lead, and it's a little crazy going on right now. Talk about it.
It's been very, very, very exciting. Actually, right now, Dustin Johnson is lining up a putt for Eagle, I believe.
Oh, my.
Unless I missed that. Yeah, if he's on 18. If he makes this, he will win the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. If he misses it and then converts his birdie, Johnson and Spieth will obviously both be tied, and they will play 18 holes tomorrow.
Aha. So, is he lining it up at this exact second?
Actually, they were showing him looking at his reads. Technically, it's actually Jason Day right now, so I missed
Gotcha.
I do a pro, who is unfortunately just kind of falling apart the last, 13, 14 holes. Nice. But you know what? That's the thing about Chambers Bay at HA Live. Trust me, I know. I've played it, and it humbled me as a golfer. I thought I was getting good until I went and played there.
That seems to be the reoccurring theme around the PGA circles. You listen to anybody on ESPN or NBC Sports, or literally anybody that knows the game of golf, and they say, I thought I was good, and then I went to Chambers Bay and realized that I am pretty awful, honestly. So, but the golfers have been complaining about it too, because they were literally bouncing their golf balls like basketballs on the fairway for some of it. Like how I don't understand how this is considered to be a PGA Tour championship golf course.
Well, and the thing is, a lot of people forget is when Chambers Bay was created in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
That was the main focus was to give it the link style approach. They wanted it to honestly, they wanted it to mirror the golf courses like St. Andrews and all those other great courses over in England and Scotland.
Yes,
where they play the British Open. It is what it is. Unfortunately, a lot of people also seem to forget that Chambers Bay created the course the way the world has seen it this week, because that's the way the USGA wanted it. They wanted the fairways hard. They wanted the greens hard. I mean, and it's fescue grass. We all know how that turns out. It's horrible. I mean, it looks brown by the end of the week. But they put the course exactly the way USGA wanted it. And if anybody, if people are going to be mad at anybody, it should be USGA, not Chambers Bay itself.
Yes. And
that's my personal opinion.
No, I agree, and I can't remember the creator of the course's name. Can you help me with his name?
Robert Trent Jones Jr.
Yes, they interviewed him. ESPN interviewed him earlier in the week, and he said that he was very proud of his golf course because he views this as more of a good versus evil, because it's him against the golfers.
Exactly, and that's 100% true. There's no hazards. There's no defense, I should say, not hazards. Oh, and by the way, Johnson just missed his eagle putt.
Oh, my
goodness.
He
left himself for work for a birdie. But
how far was the putt, do you know?
I'd probably put about 12, 15 feet.
Okay. So there's a bit of room
there. The golf course doesn't have any defenses. I mean, there's no tree. Well, there's one tree. There's no water hazards.
Literally just one tree?
Bunch of bunkers. Literally on hole number 15. It's the lone fir tree. It's iconic.
I'm sure people have still managed to hit that tree.
I'm surprised I didn't when I played it, to be honest with you. But, it's so obviously that's why the course is so hard. That's why it's so many slopes. And guess what? Johnson just missed his birdie, and Jordan Spieth is your 115th U.S. Open champion.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's 2 majors and 2 this year for Mr. Spieth.
Go, Spieth. Way to go. He just won. Well done, Jordan.
But, nothing like bringing breaking news to your show.
Right, I appreciate that, Chris. You heard it here first, folks. Jordan Spieth winning the U.S. Open. Well done, sir. And a bit shocking, I'm sure, for a lot of people.
Honestly, I personally was shocked. He is an up-and-comer. I wrote an article a few months back, right after the Masters, about Rory and Spieth and a bunch of other young guns in the tournament, on the tour. And I wasn't sure. I didn't think he was going to win the Masters, honestly. I was wrong. I didn't think he'd win the U.S. Open. I was wrong. So maybe I shouldn't think he'll win the British Open, and he'll win that too.
Or maybe, I was going to say, just keep saying that he's not going to do well, and then he'll just keep winning, and then I'll be like, hey, Chris Blakely has figured it out. So you should all go and follow him because he knows what's going on. So,
let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm looking just at Twitter right now, and my auto reload is just not even being able to keep up with all of the Spieth tweets, and people are just freaking out right now. So, well done for him, Jordan Spieth. Congratulations to you, sir. Chris, I hate to cut our time short. I wish we had more time. So, with this tournament being in the books now, basically looking ahead. Is Spieth that clear front runner to the British Open now?
It's hard to say no. It's also hard to say yes because it's just like the Triple Crown with American Pharoah. Mm-hmm. He's the favorite. He's won the first 2 races, so to speak. I would have to say yes. I'm sure when the betting lines come out in Vegas, he'll be at the very top. Him, Rory, possibly Mickelson because he's always done well at the PGA. British Open. But, as of right now, I'd say yes.
All right. And real fast, I wish we had more time to talk about this. Tiger Woods just needs to stop playing golf, honestly.
Yeah. I'll make it short. I agree with you. He's not who he was. I mean, I remember growing up. I know I'm a bit older than you. But growing up, he was the up and he was the up and, he was the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to bomb the ball down the fairway. But I got one thing on Tiger, though, that he can never take from me.
Oh, what's that?
Real quick. Well, I've played Chamber Bay. Obviously, I've mentioned it now at least 3 times.
Yes. Well, that's a big deal. I wish I would have played a PGA golf course.
Go to his first day. Look at hole 14. You'll see he triple bogeyed that hole.
Okay.
Well, when I played Chambers Bay, number 14, I birdied it.
I can
always
say
there's one hole that I played better than Tiger Woods in this entire world.
I think you've got probably one of the best 2 truths and a lie now for the rest of your life. So hold on to that for your next office party because that'll be huge.
I'll do my best.
Fantastic. Well, Chris Blakely is a co-editor for Vavel USA. Go check them out. A lot of great content, an up-and-coming big sports website. Check them out. A lot of good stuff there. So, Chris, where can people find you on Twitter, sir, before we send you off?
At the Real C Blakely, Blakely.
All right, Chris Blakely, thank you so much for your time, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day, sir. And happy Father's Day.
You too. Oh, thank you very much. And I wanted to say congratulations to you and Elizabeth on your wedding.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'll make sure to pass it along to the lovely wife. So have a wonderful day, sir, and we'll be talking to you.
All right, you too, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, always a good time. Oh, my gosh. I feel awful because this show ran long. I don't feel awful. I love talking about sports. Anyway, that sound obviously means the show is all done. It's a sad day. I swear this is literally the fastest hour of my life. Like, I remember more of my wedding day than I do of a show because, it just, boom. They say your wedding day, you blink and it's over. No, not at all. Not at all. I love my wedding day. It was it is the best day of my life. Until my 43 children are born. No, we're not going to have 43 kids. Just kidding. Just kidding. Anyway, this has been another exciting edition of the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Happy Father's Day to all of you fathers out there. Thank you so much for your listenership. We appreciate you. Thank you so much to Jess Landini, Chris Gibbons, Zach Poppenfuss, Connor Christensen, Megan Landvatter, and Chris Blakely for joining us on the show today. Holy cow, so many guests, so much fun. Make sure to go and check us out on Facebook at The Bax and Grant Sports Show, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at BG Sports Show. For those of you listening to us on Monday nights from 7 to 10 Eastern on Sports Radio America, check us out there. TuneIn Radio, Live 365 as well. And then, of course, download us anytime and listen to us on demand on iTunes, Spreaker.com, and iHeartRadio. For Grant Coppersmith, I am Baxter Colburn. Thank you so much for tuning in to another exciting edition of the Bax and Grant Sports Show. We'll see you all again next Monday night. Enjoy your week. Happy Father's Day. And once again, Jordan Spieth is your 2015 U.S. Open champion. Have a great day, everyone.